So this is an ultimate guide on how to edit like Ali Abdaal. I will show you how you can create this Facecam glowy outline effect, this speech bubble effect on his b-roll, this background and showcasing scene for when he's showing a screen recording or any other footage, this text bubble effect, this simple title effect that he uses for every new chapter of the video, this simplistic text effect with the underline, this little pop rectangle effect, website slide in effect, and overall Ali Abdaal's text effects. And also some more small little super simplistic and aesthetic effects that take only around 5 minutes to do. The video from that I'm breaking these animations down got 500,000 views on Ali Abdaal's channel. Is this one, my honest advice to someone who feels behind in life. And this means I will show you on how you can recreate this exact super clean and simplistic style that helps Ali to get more than 500,000 views on a single video. And one thing that amazed me, quite frankly, was that I have not found a single really in-depth detailed guide about Ali Abdaal's editing style, even though they work and they work really good. So this is why I took on the challenge and recreate these animations from scratch and record this full ultimate guide for you. I'll also have the websites that I use, the assets in the project file in the description down below so you can download it and use it for yourself. And with that being said, let's get into the first animation, which is the Facecam glowy outline effect. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make this really cool glow effect. I usually would go ahead and just duplicate this and then just replace with After Effects composition, so you can actually edit this in After Effects. But I'm not going to use this footage as it's already edited. So what I'm going to do now, I created a brand new composition, just the basic settings, and I just cut out normal footage from the video, and this is what it looks like. So what I'm going to do is take this footage and apply the Facecam effect on this footage. And we're going to start out first by creating a rectangle like this and center it. Also adds the right amount of roundness. Let's just say 50 roundness right now. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it in position. Ali Abdaal has it on the right side. We're gonna also make it a little bit smaller. And this is gonna be our Facecam, and you will see why in a second. But we're also gonna name it mask and make a position and scale keyframe here. So position and scale keyframe at the start, and we're gonna move forward where we want to have Ali Abdaal basically, you know, transformed into a Facecam, and we're gonna make it smaller, just the size that we want to fit in, and bring it here right below the mask. And what we're gonna do next is take the mask and put it at the bottom here, and we're gonna go ahead and press toggle switch modes and then take the track mat and pull it up to the mask. And now boom, we have Ali Abdaal in this Facecam bubble, I should say. Just gonna adjust a little bit the positioning more, and you see this is what it looks like right now. What we're gonna do next is open this one up, the size here, and we're gonna make a keyframe here. So this is the size that we want to have the mask basically. We're gonna back and deactivate the constraint proportions with this little icon here. Make this big and make the mask basically all the way fill out up until the left side here, like this. I'll also recommend you to deactivate all the motion blur, as it will make your work more efficiently. And you see, this is what it looks like at the end. Boom. We will have the mask. Boom. And one thing we will have an issue with right now, but I think you won't have this issue with your project, with your files, is you see there is this mask and there's this little gap in here. This will make basically the glow effect look really weird later on. So I have to take care of this now. And you won't have this issue because you will have the whole footage and it will fill out the whole mask. Right now I use the recording that I downloaded from YouTube, so it is cut out, and the cutout here is basically just the edge of the footage. You won't have the edge of the footage if you're working with the original files. And so I have to work around this. So let's see, boom. Looks good. We're just gonna make it a little bit faster so it's not too distracting. All right, so we have it fixed now. So this is where I started, and I just had a little keyframe here to, you know, otherwise it would be just cut off here, and the glow outline later on would be here, and there would be a gap. So we don't want to have a gap. We have it fixed now. Boom. So now that we have the mask finished, we also have motion blur turned on. What we're gonna do next, create 2 duplicates of the mask and put it on top of the footage camera. And we're gonna go ahead and turn the visibility on for both of this, and also make sure there's no track matte and you actually got the right mask. And we're gonna rename the first one Glow 1, and the second one I will just rename Deep Glow. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna remove the fill, and this will make sense in a second. And we're gonna make a stroke here instead of the fill. We can have this color because Ali Abdaal has this blue, a little bit more deep blue, purple-ish touch color. It sounds really funny. It sounds babaf. This is the color code for this, babaf. And we'll make it stroke 2. We just really want to have it subtle, and because Ali Abdaal also uses just a subtle outline. For the deep glow, we go the same, no fill, and we create a stroke of, let's say, also like 4 pixels, and it will make sense in a second. But first, let's go ahead and add a glow to the first layer here. For that, we go to FX, glow, add glow to the footage, and we will have, just copy my settings, it's 14.5. and then 6, 1.4 on the intensity, comparison original is none, and the glow operations is normal. Like the gold colors, which are under AB colors, color looping is pretty much kept the same. And then we have color loops 1, and then just having like a little bit less on the midpoint. Like we could just have like 37% or something like that. And then we can go ahead and just adjust this color to something more deep blue, or you know, something like this as well, like more on the brighter side, of course, because I just found it look more the way Ali Abdaal uses his colors, so it's more like the blue that he uses. We can have like one that is a little bit more deeper, like this. So this is still blue. It looks a little bit purplish, but it's still blue. Trust me. This, and yeah, this is what it looks like right now. I'm not sure if you can see this on the video right now, but it looks pretty much the same as Ali Abdaal uses here. Yeah, so this is the first glow that I do. And then for the second one, I'm actually gonna do and add a deep glow to the top here. So yeah, for the deep glow, I just changed the radius to 45, exposure to 81, and then just change the blend mode to add. And what I found is this is a little bit way too white for me. It's like way too thick. So I'm gonna use the stroke and just change it to 2. And you can also just adjust the deepness of the effect a little bit more. If you want to have it more deeper color like that, like a deeper blue, you can just change it to this. And this is basically the outline. And it already looks sick in my opinion. Let's take a look here. Boom. And now what we're gonna do, going from here to here, it's just circling, kind of, if we can say it like that. It's just going like round and round in the rectangle. And I will show you on how you can recreate the same effect as well. So we just go to deep glow and add a trim path to it. So for the trim path, we will have 4 keyframes for this. I don't know why I showed 2, but we're gonna have 4 keyframes. First 2 is gonna for the start. And for that, we need, basically first, we're gonna make it 0 and around 25. So this trim path, what it does is you're gonna see it already, we start here, and it already has basically just cut off like all the roundness here. And we're gonna go ahead and fit this one, and then we're gonna bring this one out by a lot. So if I change it, like if I just slide it a little bit to the right, you will see the keyframes are way out of the picture. It's because it just makes the glow outline slower, because we don't want to have it too fast. So that we don't want to have it going around fast, and we just want to have it subtle like Ali Abdaal uses. So, and the next one at the end is 70 and 100. And then we're gonna take these ones. Do not easy ease them. It doesn't look good. It just looks weird. And we're just gonna bring these ones out of the picture as well. So we're gonna bring it here. And then if we take a look at it now, we have a subtle glow outline on the face cam. This is basically just a trim path, you know, going round and round with the stroke. Yeah, this is it. If you want to have like a stock footage in the background, you can just go ahead here, add this one, for example, have the video start out, and we just explain something about the stock footage. This is basically the glow outline. And the only extra step that I had to take, which I hope you don't have to take, is basically just bring a keyframe between all those here, just adjust the sizing while we scale it down to the face cam from the main camera. If I remove the keyframes here, you see there's a gap. Yeah, you won't have this problem. And I just had to take care of it with an extra sizing. And yeah, later on we're gonna show you on how you can loop this Facecam if you have like a long screen recording or whatever you're showcasing and you want to use this Facecam. But yeah, that was the first animation, and now we can move ahead to the next animation, which is the speech bubble effect. Pretty easy to do, I kid you not. You can do this in 5 minutes or less. But yeah, for that I just created another composition. And for this effect, I will just use a regular screenshot from the video. So I don't need, like, you can just, you know, use it on your footage. I just use the screenshot for showcasing purposes. So we're gonna use the pen tool and we're gonna just draw like a speech bubble basic outline. I'm just gonna recreate the exact form of what Ali Abdaal uses. And then we have like this. I just press like Alt or whatever key I have on my keyboard. I'm holding it, and then I just have this here where I can just ease and basically just adjust the sizing here of the corners here. There we go. We're gonna create this kind of like this. Like, this looks already pretty good. So this is the outline so far. We're just gonna remove the stroke and add a feel to it. And the feel can be just a little bit more yellowy. So we're gonna go to yellow, just more creamy, just a little bit, just a subtle creamy. And then this is basically our speech bubble. And now we're gonna go ahead and animate this one. But first we're gonna go ahead, go to the pen behind tool. This is the anchor point tool. And we will take the anchor point and then adjust it to this one here, just to the side here. This is where we're gonna add the anchor point to. And then we just gonna take the positioning and just position the speech bubble exactly to his mouth or where you actually want to have it. And now we're gonna go ahead and adjust the scale. We make a keyframe for the scale. We go forward like here. This is the 100% keyframe, and then we're just gonna press 0. And it comes out from the anchor point that we just set. We're just gonna make it a little bit faster, and we're gonna ease it as well. So we're gonna make it a little bit faster as well. Boom. That's good. You can also just go back and adjust the whole stuff as well. Like, if you don't like how it looks, you can just adjust it as well. Just make it more clean or make it more the way you like it. Like, yeah, it does not matter because people know how the speech bubble looks. First, we're gonna go ahead and add a text to it. We're gonna write the same thing. I feel like, and then enter. This is our text. We're gonna center this into our speech bubble. Also center the anchor points as well. And I kind of like it already. We don't have to adjust too much here. It looks pretty good. And if you wonder which font this is and how I found out, or how you can find out which font YouTuber that you go to uses, it is first of all Nanum Pen. But how did I find out about it? I just type in what font on Google and then go to the font finder, and then you take a screenshot of it and then just drop it in here. Like, for example, I have the screenshot from this exact screen that Ali Abdaal has in this video, and then I'm just gonna have this screenshot dropped in, just next step, whatever, and then just fill out a couple of the letters here. It's an L, and this, I don't know, I don't care, N, and then G. Boom. Next step. Just, you don't have to pay for this website. I've used it for many projects now. And then you will have a lot of kind of like similar fonts popping up here. So yeah, if you see, this is the font that I used, and if you see, there's Adobe behind it. And if you have Adobe behind it, I will show you how you can also download the same font as well. And then you can also just click download, come to this website. You can just install it here. You can just add it to your library here. I have it added now, that's why it says remove. And then once you've added it, you'll go to the Creative Cloud app, Adobe Fonts, and then you will have it here, and you can install it here. And what this does is, whether you're using Photoshop, Premiere Pro, After Effects, all the fonts that you have in here will be installed basically on these programs individually. Like, they will all the programs that you use in the Adobe suite, they all will have this font, if I understood it right. and you just install it, and then you have it basically inside of it. You don't need to restart, you don't need to do anything. You just have it inside of here. And I already have this made, so 80 pixels. The leading is 93 pixels as well. Then I have this one centered up, and I have also the parent linked to the shape layer. We call this speech bubble. If you want to name your layers, I can always recommend to name your layers. I know this is a little bit extra step to go. You don't think about it, but sometimes when I go back, it's just so nice to have all the layers like named. So I could just encourage you to do it. Sometimes I don't do it, but I can just encourage you to do it. So yeah, we're gonna just move this a little bit behind the scale. And now what we're gonna do is Ali Abdaal has a typewriter effect on the text here. So we're gonna just click in the effects typewriter, then animate in typewriter, and then just drag and drop it onto the text layer. And you see we already have a typewriter effect coming up. And I want to just drag the first keyframe to more to the front, and this one more back, like the last keyframe more back, so it's a little bit faster. But I also want it to start when the speech bubble is appearing, so around here. So if you look at it, this is what it looks like. We're gonna ease it. What this is gonna do is just basically animate in the text that you have here, character by character, like you would type on a keyboard. Like I would just go ahead and just type on a keyboard. Next one is we're gonna add a drop shadow to this bubble here and just adjust the distance a little bit, the softness of course, and the opacity, just bring it down to 40%, I would say. And this looks good. Or maybe a little bit more in the distance, a little bit more, and the softness as well. There we go. And now comes the wiggle, and go to transform here and then position, and then I just hold alt and then click here on the clock, and I just write in wiggle, open up the case, and then what I would do like to have here is like 1,8. When we play this footage, you will have basically a wiggle effect on the speech bubble, so the range can be also 15, so the range is wider. Yeah, I like it like around 12. It's perfect, 1 to 12. And this is basically it. This is the speech bubble effect. And now we're going to move on to the third animation, which is this background with the face cam and also showcasing top-down camera. We don't want to use a top-down camera to showcase right now. What we're going to showcase right now is just a basic stock footage, okay? And I will show you how you can recreate the exact same background with the exact same effects, the rectangles here, and the face cam, how you can loop the glow effect, and on how to add this in the middle as well with the drop shadow. All right, so let's get started. New composition. And what we're going to do next is, you see he has a white background. So what we're going to do is we are going to add a solid layer and make it completely white. So we have a solid white color. And next, it's going to be a little bit weird, but we're going to create a new composition and we name it dot. And before you create an OK, you will change the width and the height. If you can you see this? I'm changing the size of this composition to 400 by 400, and I will show you why in a second and explain to you why in a second. But we have this rectangle here. So in this rectangle, we're going to create basically the dots, because if you see, he has a white background and subtle gray dots, and we're just gonna hold shift so it's actually also, you know, the same size everywhere, and center this. And also I suggest you to make it smaller, way smaller, like 60 or 50%, whatever you prefer. We can change this later on, of course. And then we're gonna change the fill color to a little bit more gray. Don't go too much here. I like it, have a subtle, so I'm just gonna change it like this. CCC is a really cool tag name. I'm just gonna use this one for now. And what we're gonna do is we have this composition here, and we're just gonna drag it, drop it into our main composition. There we go. And you see you have a dot here now. And we're gonna make it a little bit smaller as well, like let's say 50. And we're gonna add an effect to it called motion tile. So motion tile on the dot effect, and then boom. And just copy the settings that I have. It's around 7,000 by 3,500. And then boom. I already have a lot of dots here. We're just gonna scale it down a little bit more. If you can see it, like this. All right, let's say like 13 or like kind of like 12 scale. And then this is basically the background. And if you go above this, you will get a error notification. We're gonna go ahead now and just also decrease basically the, we also could just make it a little bit more white. I think we just want it more subtle. It just looks better. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a position key frame here, and we're gonna go a little bit more further and drag it to the left. So it moves to the left like this. And we're just gonna drag this one out and drag this one out as well. And if you play this now, you will see this is slowly moving to the left. I think we can also just go back to the dot and just make it like 30%, like the size, and just save it. And then we'll have this one. Yeah, this looks a little bit better. So I have like 30% on the dot, and then I will have also here 12% on scale here. What we're gonna do next now is we're gonna add rectangles, like the pink rectangle at the bottom here. Let me just zoom out a little bit and then add like this. And then we're gonna add a yellow rectangle at the top here. We're gonna name this one pink box and then yellow box. You can also color it the way you like it, but I will just keep it that way. And I'm gonna go ahead and take out the fill, copy the exact same color, which is this one here. This is the code here. Gonna also go ahead and increase the roundness of it to like 35%, like 35. And then we're gonna also do the same for the yellow box. Boom. And these are basically the two boxes. They are static, like they do not move in, they do not move at all in this frame, in this scene. We have it later on. I will show you how you can animate so they actually, you know, position in, they move into the image. I will show you that later on, but for this image we go for the static one. I think we can make the dots move a little bit slower, like the keyframes just move a little bit out, so it's a little bit more subtle, a little bit more slow. We don't want to have it too fast. This looks way more better. It's just a little bit slower. What we're going to do next is we're just going to add the face cam that we have just edited. And we're just going to blend out the footage for now. And the mask is also here. All right. And what we're going to do is we're just going to remove all the positioning before. So this is what it looks like right now. So yeah, we have a lot of footage here right now. But I will show you how you can actually increase the glow effect as well, so it goes all the way around. Because if you see, it stops around here, and for that I just need to duplicate the deep glow and then have this one go to 100%. Bear with me, this is a little bit more advanced, of course. Just have it like for 1 second. Go this one for 100 and 100 at the end, and then what we're gonna do is drag the start of the keyframes here. So we have a deep glow, starts again here, and we're gonna just go one further and then have basically 0, 0 here and then 28 here. And for here we have 0, 0. I'm just gonna drag this one out a little bit so it's more smooth as well. Yeah, like this. So for that we have basically, if that was a little bit too fast for you, we just duplicated the deep glow and we adjusted the keyframes so they start here with 0, 0, like exactly where we reach 70 and 100 on the bottom layer. And then on the top layer, we just go forward and then have basically the start in the end 0 and 27, one keyframe after we have hit 100 and 100 on the bottom one, if that makes sense. So just copy the settings that I have, and this will basically, if you just copy and paste it on top of it and then just move it up where the top layer ends, you would just have a continuous, you know, deep glow going in circles around. What I would do if I were you is I would just go ahead and pre-compose this and make it main face cam effect, and then just go inside of it and then just make it as long as possible, basically like around like this. And we have like 100, 100 here, and then we have it here and here. So basically it's like 15 seconds, boom. And then I would just go ahead and add this effect, this main face cam effect is here. I would just drag and drop it into Premiere Pro. And then yeah, this is basically the glow effect that continuously just goes in circles around. So in my opinion, it is a little bit too fast. For example, I could just go ahead and drag this one out all the way and then just select these two and then just bring them back and then just go all the way here and bring this one out all the way as well. So up until it looks like this. Yeah, just bring out the keyframes as long as you can, and then also adjust these ones as well. So yeah, this is like really slow, really subtle. You won't notice it as much. I think this one is like a little bit way too slow for me at least, but it looks fine for now. You can just adjust it to what you like to have it. The main thing is basically that it's actually centered, so we don't have it way too below, way too top as well. And now we're gonna move ahead to the footage that he has here in the video. This will be our footage mask. We're gonna mask it out. I'm just gonna make it black, and we're gonna name this mask. Let's say, for example, we wanna add this footage that we used before. I'm just gonna make it a little bit smaller and bring it here. And then we're just gonna toggle switch and then use the track mat and drag it onto the mask footage. And then boom, we have it here. And then you see the visibility for the mask footage is off, and we're gonna just go ahead and adjust the roundness of it because he has a really subtle roundness added to it as well. And yeah, so this is basically the mask slash footage, and then we're gonna pre-compose this actually. I will show you why. So screen recording, and then add a drop shadow. Did pre-compose this because we wanted to add a drop shadow to this footage as well. So a subtle drop shadow like this. All right, I like it. So yeah, this is what it looks like now. We just finished up this one, and if you want to change the stock footage and just reuse it, you could just go into the screen recording, take the mask footage, place it on top, you know, and then have like a screen footage added to it, pre-compose that, and then just add a drop shadow to pre-composition, and then you have it. And then we can also just pre-compose this one to background 01. This is our background, and this is our face cam, and this is the screen recording. So yeah, that's it. We have a really subtle dots moving in the background, the face cam glow moving outside, the showcasing screen recording slash camera footage in the middle, and then the rectangles here. Yeah, so basically this is how you recreate the scene really fast. Let's move on to the next animation. So the next animation that we're gonna do now is gonna be this message bubble, this text message bubble. This looks like the the iMessage, Apple iMessage bubble. And I'm gonna, to be honest with you guys, recreating this right now would be so much waste of a time. And I will show you on how you can actually access these files faster. And also I will show you a way on how you can access these exact footage or this exact animation, just to like a template for free as well. What I would do first, I would just go to Motion Array, and I would just go to After Effects, video templates, and then just write into the search text message. And if we look for a little bit, we will find this text message kit voice with voice. And if you have the subscription for Motion Array, it's around $30 per month or like $190 for a year. I can actually recommend you Motion Array more than Artlist Max because I've used Motion Array for a year. It is really good. I'm not affiliated with them at all. I'm just recommending to you one of the best platforms. I'm pretty sure you can go to Envato Elements and find like even a better one or even a faster solution on there. So this is basically the fastest way, and this is also probably the way that Ali Abdaal's team gets their assets like this from. And one way you can also access this effect for free, so you don't have to recreate this exact effect for like an hour, where you can actually just download it and have it in your After Effects as a template where you can edit it and it's already done, is what I found this video. So you can just go to YouTube, just type in the effect and just type template behind it. And I found this video to be really useful. This video is linked down below as well. And I also just basically just downloaded the project file and just copied what he had basically here in this project file, and I just edited the message. And I will just show you how you can also edit the message for your own as well, and how you can import it to After Effects as well. For that, let's create another composition. Once you have downloaded these files, for example, I've used these files, you download all of these files, and then you go ahead, import file, and then you just go ahead and select basically the file that you have downloaded from the internet from, and this will give you this folder here, and you can just go ahead and see like, okay, this is the final comp. I'm just gonna drag and drop the final comp in here. Like this is in 4K, so I'm gonna scale it to 50%, and if you see, this is it. This is the home messaging stuff. If you go inside of here, you can edit this actually. So you can edit the buttons. You can also remove all the stuff. I'm just going to remove like everything. I'm going to use this bubble here. If you see, this is the loading bubble, which also Ali Abdaal uses in the video. And then we have also just the appearing message here. So yeah, all of the stuff that we don't need, I just delete it. And then I will go ahead, add it onto my composition here that I'm gonna edit on. And after repositioning, we will recolor this exact bubble as well. Like we just go in here, we're just gonna add a fill effect onto these three here. And we're gonna color this one, boom. This is the color. And if you see, it's blue. We're just gonna take this one and also apply it to the bubble here. And we're gonna change the text of it to white. And also, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna expand the bubble. And also Ali Abdaal has it reversed. So I'm gonna remove the parent and link and just reverse this like this. And we're gonna type in like in the video. And then we're just gonna adjust this like it was here. And to fill out the rest of it, what I would do is just add basically a fill color with the same color as this one. And then just go from the top here. And then just bring it down. We're just gonna align this one up until this point. And then we're gonna go ahead and add a circle as well to the end. So it looks like an actual message like this. Boom. And then just move it below the text. Some tedious work sometimes, but it looks good. So it does make sense to go the extra mile. And as I said, if you download it from Motion Array, have it look way better. And if you don't change the ways or whatever I'm doing here right now, you don't need to, then you'll be done here way faster as well. So there we go. And this is basically a text message that will appear. And this is the loading bubble. Also, I noticed we have to get the bubble to here as well. What I would just do is basically compose this text bubble blue and then just have the text printed through it as well. That's it. That's what I would do. And if we go back to the main composition, boom, this looks already cool. This looks good. Fire. Now what we're going to do next is, we're not done yet. We're going to just add Jane to the top here. Like if you see in the video, it's also the same. Like if you see on the reference, he also does the same, basically the same things here as well. 1 minute ago. And then we're just going to add this one here and make this gray. So this is what it looks like if we go the extra mile and add this to the video. And we're gonna add the opacity to here as well, like this. And then let's just see how it looks. So you have the bubble coming in, and then boom. You can also just adjust the bubble here as well, so it's not as long as you would like to have it. So like this. Boom. I would maybe suggest is just pre-compose this and then have the text message main maybe as name and then add a drop shadow to it as well. Oh yeah, I would just remove these two, at least if you're adding a drop shadow to it, and then you have it like this. Yeah, so this is what I would do. I would just add like a drop shadow to the base, like just a subtle drop shadow. Doesn't have to be too much. Just bring down this one a little bit more and then we are done. This is basically the effect. I just try to teach you on how to do it the fastest way with the 80-20 rule, because like 20% the effort brings 80% of the results. And in the 20%, that means you don't do it on your own. That would be like 100%. The 20% is you find the assets on Motion Array, you find it on YouTube, you download the assets, like the templates or whatever, you import it into After Effects, you actually go ahead and edit it, export it, done. Like that's the 20%. I don't want to discourage you, as I said. I'm just showing you this is the fastest way. I will have all the assets, all the websites, all the files that I've used in the video in the link down below. Like there is the top link down below. If you click on it, it will take you to your website and then you will be able to download this exact project file. And I also want to make sure that you can access the websites that I've shown in the video that I've used along working on this project or redoing this project. And we'll have all the websites down below as well with the video where I got this speech bubble effect from as well. And with that being said, let's move on to the next animation. So this is the chapter gradient background that basically separates from one chapter to another chapter, from one topic to another topic, or from one point to another point. And this is like so easy, and I like the subtle gradient background. And we're gonna recreate this exact effect right now. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna create another solid white solid layer. This is going to be our background, and we're gonna add a 4 color gradient to it. If you just press in 4, you will see it, 4 color gradient. Adding it into it. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna change the colors. So if we take a look at the colors, it's just a really subtle pastel colors. What we're gonna do is we're gonna recreate those by just adding those really subtle colors to it. Priority is here to make it as white as possible, so don't have it as popping as those 2 colors at the bottom here. Maybe, I'm not sure if you will notice it on your screen what I see right now, but this already looks really good, really subtle. And what we're gonna do next is create some keyframes on the points. We're gonna create keyframes on the colors as well later on, but first the points. And this is our starting position for the points. All the 4 points are here. We're gonna go ahead like 5 seconds into it and just moving around. We can just move it into the middle, maybe like, maybe like this, and then move it around here if we want to, and just move out the keyframes here to the end. And you can just do it like however you want to have it. You can also make it faster if you want to. Like, there is nothing that speaks against it. Just be aware to also have a keyframe at the end so it's not static like this, and then just have it like this at the end as well. Boom. You will see how fast it moves. And if you really want to make it a little bit more cooler, you can also change the colors, like boom, 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 boom. We have the keyframes for the colors here. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna create this a little bit more dark. We're gonna create this more to white, this more to dark as well. Change the color to, and then we're gonna go ahead and just create this one like this. And we're gonna move this one to white, and this color, this one to a little bit red, and just make more dominant, whatever, just make more visible the red color. And this one, we're gonna make it more deep blue. So yeah, we changing the colors all the way. And you can just go ahead and basically take the keyframes here from the second ones and copy it and then paste it here. Second ones here, copy it and paste it here. These ones, and then just paste it here and just move it up until this point. And then you will see you will have a really subtle pastel colorful background. Now let's continue. We will add a rectangle in the middle, a white rectangle, make it centered, and we adjust the roundness as well like this. It looks really good. Then we're gonna add a icon. I already have the icon downloaded. It's this one, and most of the times Ali Abdaal's team uses Flaticon for their icons, and you will see this is the exact same icon that they use for their topic change or chapter change background. This is the exact same thing. You can just download it for free, and if you pay for this service, basically for this website, it's like $10 a month for like $90 for like a year. Then you can also use it like on every project, and you don't have to give any credits to the author as well. So you can just drag and drop it after you download it, and then you can just adjust the size. And what I will do is just burn this icon to the box here, to the white box. Just gonna name this the white box. And this is the icon. Boom. Just gonna make it a little bit bigger because it looks, yeah, it looks better if it's like 38. That's good. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna add like a pop-in effect for the rectangle here. And for that, we just have a scale of 100 here, and we have a scale of 0 here. And here, right before the 100, we will have 110x, 110% scale, like this, like this. That's a little bit slow. Like this, but let's make it faster. Boom. And we're just gonna ease all those things. Fire. And Ali Abdaal has also a wiggle effect to it. So we're gonna go to position, alt, click on time, and add a wiggle. We do it, let's do it 1 to 5. Let's see what it looks like if we add a 1 to 5. Fire. Okay, looks good. So what I would also do is I would adjust the scale before you do the actual pop-in effect, because now I see that this is actually way too big for the project. So we're gonna make it scale 75, and we're gonna just adjust this to 85, and we're gonna adjust the position now because we have a text coming in at the bottom here. But before we do the text, I want to also do the background. I want to also move in the background because we have a slide up effect. So we're just gonna slide this down, activate the motion blur for all of it, and then you'll see we have it sliding up, boom, like this. And I just want to use the keyframe flow. This is a plugin that I use for, you know, smoother keyframes. As you see, I would just use this one like this, and then just adjust the keyframes like this. Boom. I think it's way too slow still. There we go. This looks clean. So I use the quad out flow. So I think flow is a free plugin that you could use. I have it here on the left side, and I always use it for my keyframes. So to make it more smooth, to adjust it like really fast. I really love this. And I'm not sure if you have to pay for it or if it's free, but I would suggest you to get it because it helped me a lot for the past projects. Like since I've been editing on After Effects, it always has helped me to make the animations more smooth by adjusting basically the graph here on its own. So it smooths up my whole workflow by a lot and makes my animations look way more smooth than you would think of. So yeah, just get flow if you want to, and if you can actually afford it, and get also deep glow. And with that being said, I will also add a drop shadow, which is just really subtle to the rectangle here. Just make the distance bigger, or let's just make the distance 0, and let's make the opacity like 30%. Yeah, this is good. Let's make it a little more soft. This is good. Looks really good so far. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna slide up the text here. So the ideal day, we're gonna center this first, and then we're gonna make it bigger. Let's make this one black for a second. And the font that we use actually is this one. One thing that I noticed is that the font that they use is, I think you have to pay for it to use it in your videos. If I'm wrong, then you can just correct me in the comments, but that's what I found. And this font is from Adobe, and it looks almost identical to the ones that they use in their videos. So I'm just gonna use this one. So yeah, and after that, we will make it look really cool by adding a gradient ramp. Boom. And we're just gonna make this one like this, and the end color like more bluish. Boom. And we're gonna adjust these points to the side that we want to have it on, and we're gonna make the colors a little bit more subtle as well, and adjust the points a little bit more. Yeah, like this. I like it. So this is almost identical to what he has, and we're gonna also add a drop shadow to it as well, just to separate it from the background a little bit more, and good softness. Less distance, like around 25 opacity, distance is 3 and softness is 5. This is what I find looks really good. Okay, so with that being said, we are gonna go ahead and animate the text in, and this is by word, slide up by word, and this makes that the words slide up like that. It looks cool, right? And I'm just gonna make it like this, and that's it. We're just gonna add like some easy ease to it. So let's see what it looks like right now. I'm just gonna make it a little bit slower for the text. Yeah, this is it. This is the slide up. You can also adjust this by how you would like to have it, like 40%, 25%, whatever you think looks good. Like, I think this looks pretty good so far, so I'm not gonna change too much anymore and just make it a little bit more, bring it a little bit more down. So we have a little more space here, and we also have it more centered as well, because I always say centering is so crucial, because have the same, you know, free space from the top to the start of the icon as from the bottom to start of the text. And what we're gonna do is basically just parent to the background and to the text to the background as well, like this. Boom. And then what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna go ahead and bring it to the bottom. make it a little bit faster, and then just also flow this one out. Boom. So yeah, I like it. Boom. And that's it. So now we are done with this effect. You can just go ahead and drag this here into the Premiere Pro project, and then you can just, yeah, use it on your timeline, like you see it here. Yeah, this was basically the chapter mark. If you have a different icon, you can just change up the icons in a different composition, and then you can just, you know, change the text here as well. You know, this will ramp up word by word. So if you have like 4 words, then 4 words will, you know, ramp up here. So yeah, let's move on to the next animation. So the next one is basically this background that we already have, and we just have this text appearing on the background, and also have this underline below the text. And this looks super simplistic. All right, I just created a new composition, and if you remember, we used to have the exact same background on the different animation that we did at the beginning of the video. So we're just gonna copy the background and just paste it in here. And yeah, that's as easy as it gets. And the only thing that we have to do now is add the text and add basically the text effect. And then we add the gradient, aka the underline or the highlighting kind of effect as well to the text. If you look at it closely, it's also the same text as we have here on the gradient background. So we can also copy the text and paste it in here on top of the background. We just need to center this one. There we go. And also just remove the gradient ramp. And we can also go ahead and remove the drop shadow as well. What we're gonna do is basically just fill in the text that he used. And then we're gonna center this one again. And maybe I would just bring them just a little bit more apart. This font that I use looks actually a little bit more thick than the font that Ali Abdaal uses. So it's a little bit more thick. It will do it. It will do the job. If you want to find the exact font, you can just use the tool that I've mentioned before. With that being said, we first want to create the animation itself. And now there is a reason why I copied this exact animation. It is because we can actually have it not come from the bottom, but from the top actually. Let me just show you. So see, if you open this up, we have the range selector. This is basically the animation. And then we have the advanced section. If we open that one up, we can see a position. The position here is set to 7,465, which means it's right below here. Like if I click on it, you can maybe see it. No, okay. It's not going to show it, but it's right below down here. And if I, have the position on 0, then the text just appears. And what we're gonna do, if you see it, it actually comes in from the right side and comes into the left side. Like the text is moving in from the right side into the left side. So we're gonna make the position on the left side to around 100. And if you do that, you will see the text appears coming in from the right side, going all in to the left side. We're gonna make it like around 60. Looks good, right? A little bit slower. So yeah, this is basically the effect on itself. Boom. It is actually pretty simple. It's pretty much just copy and paste and just changing a little bit of stuff up. And next what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a highlight to the love part. For that, we're just gonna make a fill shape layer. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna select gradient, linear gradient, okay? And for that, we're gonna take this shape layer, we're gonna name this highlight, and we will take it below the love text. And then we will go ahead and change the roundness to around 19. That looks good. And this is basically the highlight that we have here. And we want the highlight to appear right when it finishes, like here. We will have a mask like that. And then we go ahead and hit a mask path and make the mask come in like that. Perfect. If you see that, boom, there we go. We have it. And you can also go ahead and change the gradient as well, like this. Make it look a little bit more like the one that Ali Abdaal has. Just change up the gradient as you want. And we're gonna ease the mask path. That looks good. So this is basically the animation. Like, it is nothing like hard to recreate. If we already have the background, it is pretty much easy. Then just copy and paste. We copy and paste the text. We just change up a little bit of the animation effect, which comes in, which brings the text in. Also, just to show you the highlight fill, because I forgot to show you the highlight, I have the opacity here at the top set to 0 and here to 100%. And both here are FFBD00 colors. And then I can just go ahead and change here with those two little handles the gradient on what I want to do. If I want to do it like this, then I can just change it here. And this is how you achieve this transparent style. And I think this looks so simplistic and clean, and also really like aesthetic as well. In some simplistic way, it looks really aesthetic. Okay, so the next animation is gonna be really simple. It is actually just copy and paste pretty much, but I want to show you guys on how to achieve this effect as well, because it's just so clean. We're gonna animate this pop-up effect with this little logo in here. I'm gonna exactly show you how you can replicate this exact stuff for your videos as well in just less than 5 minutes. So let's get right into it. And if you remember this white box here, we're gonna use the same exact white box. Why? Because it has already the wiggle on it, which we need. It has already pop-up effect on it, which we need, so we're just gonna use it. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna find the logo, and basically this one, and then we're just gonna download it from the website or from any other source. And after you got the logo, I have it here actually, you will just place it in. And what I'm gonna do is make a rectangle around the logo with a solid color fill. It's gonna act as a mask. Let me just rename it as a mask so you don't get confused by the yellow color. What we're gonna do is we select this mask and make the roundness go up. Drop it below the Opal logo. Drop it right below. And then we're gonna go ahead, toggle switch on, track matte attached to the mask layer. And then boom, we have the Opal logo going from this to this, which looks super clean in my opinion. And then you can just also adjust basically on where you want to have it in the mask. But I think this looks pretty good. And then you can just adjust on how you want to have the mask, like which size or whatever. And also the scale inside the mask with the logo. I think this looks pretty good. And yeah, if you want to change this one, the roundness here as well, you can just do it as well. And then boom. I like it a little bit more rounded more. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna attach and parent both of these layers to the white box. So when it pops up, boom, it's gonna just shake. That's it. Yeah, this looks really clean. The 1.5 to 10. And yeah, that's basically how you recreate the white box, and then you will just have it placed on top of your footage in Premiere Pro, and then you can just adjust the position in Premiere Pro if you want to have it like more to the left, more to the right, or you want to have it in the middle here, which size you want to have, whatever, you know, you can just adjust it in Premiere Pro. That's why I really like it, and that's why I also kept the Opal logo here in the middle as well. It is a really simple animation, I know, but it works for Ali Abdaal, so I thought I might just show you on how I do it the most fastest way. Just make sure you parent both these things to the white box, so when it wiggles, the actual whole logo wiggles as well with it. And yeah, with that being said, that was the animation. It was pretty simple, but yeah, we're gonna go to the next animation right now. So the next animation is a little bit more advanced, but I thought this animation is like so useful for many of you. If you have like any website that you want to showcase, or if you have basically a sponsor that you want to showcase, this animation could single-handedly look so good, not for just a sponsor that watches the video and gives feedback to it, but also for the YouTuber or client that you work with. It just looks so clean. First, we have basically the exact scene that we have already recreated. We're gonna recreate this angle, like these rectangles, and the rectangles having slide in slowly. And then we're gonna recreate not the logo or the whole animation here, but I'm gonna show you on how you can recreate what's inside here with Skillshare. Like this is a logo. I'm gonna show you how you can also slide up these courses or whatever. And we're gonna all make this in After Effects and make it really fast. It's gonna be super simple. So let's get right into it. We have a new composition, and what we're gonna do first is we're gonna add the Facecam with the screen recording that we have already created before. So let's find it real quick, copy just all of the files here, and then just add it into our composition. And you see we already have the background, the Facecam. So we're gonna use the same Facecam as we have here, and we're gonna use a screen recording, so we're not gonna delete this one. But what we're gonna do is we go into the background, copy all of this stuff here, come out of the background, close it, and then put it here on top and then delete the one background before. So why are we gonna do it? Because he had all these rectangles on top and on the bottom slide in slowly. If you see it, it's just sliding in, and we have to recreate it. But if we recreate it in a composition, then it's going to change for all of the files or all of the compositions that we have done before. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out all of these stuff, and then we're going to animate it here and then do another new pre-composition so we don't change the compositions before with the background. So what I'm going to do next is we're going to remove the screen recording in the Facecam, and then we're going to duplicate the top yellow and then bring one up here, bring a rectangle up here, and then we're gonna duplicate the bottom pink, and then we're gonna bring it up, make it a little bit like that. We're gonna name this green rectangle bottom, and then we're gonna name this blue rectangle top. Can also make this blue as well. This is what it looks like now. We have all the colorings for them, and now we're gonna color the actual rectangles as well, and we're gonna take the green one as well. Now that we have all these, then we're gonna press P on the keyboard. We're gonna make a keyframe for around 1 second, and then we're gonna move these ones out. So the bottom one comes in from the bottom, the green one comes in from the bottom as well, so we're gonna slide it down. The yellow one comes in from the top, if I remember it right, and the blue one comes in from the left. So yeah, so this is what it looks like. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna ease it just to make it a little bit more smooth as well. Just gonna make it a little bit faster. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna use the motion tools panel here to make it faster. So what I'm gonna do is I will just press this one 3 times, like so we have it coming in one at a time. You see it? Looks pretty smooth in my opinion. We're gonna keep it, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna enable the screen recording, and we're gonna take the screen recording here and then delete the screen recording actually here. Why we're gonna do that? Because we're gonna change the screen recording here to a different one. And there's a reason for that. We deleting composition. It's because if I change the screen recording for this one in the composition that I already had, then it's gonna change for the different project that we did as well. Like we had in the background. Because we're talking about the background, let's make a pre-composition. Background, new pre-composition, so the timeline looks actually pretty clean. Now what I'm gonna do is remove this footage. What I'm gonna do is I use the exact same brand kit that Skillshare does have, and I found this on the website here, Skillshare Design. I'm sure they're sending it out to Ali Abdaal via email. If you go all the way down here, you can request it, but I just open the video and then save the video because I know how to, you know, use this with with a different opacity, with a different mode here. So that's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replace the black background with the one that Ali Abdaal has with the blue here. Once we have the Skillshare logo sliding down, then we have a new page coming up. This is also Skillshare. So this is a Skillshare sponsorship, which you have already probably heard because many YouTubers sponsorship with Skillshare. I do not have a sponsorship with Skillshare, so this is not like a weird affiliate link, whatever. This is actually just me showing you guys on how to do the effect. So I'm gonna place this here. All right, but first we're gonna take care of the Skillshare. A new solid color, boom, and we're gonna make it dark royal blue solid. Just gonna copy basically this screenshot that I took from Skillshare, the exact same thing that Ali Abdaal has also in the video. Just took a screenshot from it. And I'm just gonna use the background color of this one. And then what I'm gonna do is take the track matte and put it on the shape layer, which is our mask. I'm gonna rename it, but yeah, this is the mask. And then I'm gonna just turn off the visibility for a screenshot for a second. What I'm gonna do next is, because this works so well and I want to recreate this exact, animation with the exact footage, with the exact stuff, I just went ahead and just found this stuff from the brand kit, and I'm going to use this from the brand kit. And yeah, just changed the mode to add, so you can see in how you can also recreate it like one by one. But for your projects, you're not going to use these exact, steps. And also one thing is I'm going to just move the background a little bit more back, because I think these are a little bit slow. Let's just move it a little bit more inside here. We can also just change up the when or what comes in first, so we don't need to have actually like a specific order, if you know what I mean. We don't need a specific order per se. So yeah, this looks really cool. We have Skillshare, and then when it ends, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna animate this one in. So if you see, we already have the background. Without the background, this would look like this. So the background is fitting exactly the background that we have on the screenshot. And what we're gonna do first is we'll take a positioning keyframe on the Skillshare logo, and then we're gonna just do another positioning one and just move it down here. So this, like this. And I'm just gonna ease this one. What I'm gonna do next is, if you see, he has basically this whole section up here moving in first, and then having like all the boxes separately moving into the picture. How you can recreate this is gonna take 9 masking, okay? 9 masks. I'm gonna create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mask, and if you want to, you can also create one for backup, but I don't need it because I've already recreated this effect, so I know how to do it. And yeah, so we're gonna do first up here is we're gonna mask this one. When we are done, we can also just disable the visibility for this one, create turn on the visibility for this one, and then we're gonna mask this here, the first box, and then turn on the next one, and then mask the next one, and then we're gonna do this for all the boxes here. This was the first row. I'm gonna make it step by step. It is so simple, but such a good looking animation in my opinion, and it looks so clean. And the fact that they give like so much like effort, even though it's not, you know, hard to recreate, but give so much effort to a sponsorship, then you see on what level they are actually, you know, operating. So next one is, this is basically what we have here is the final screen. So we're gonna make a keyframe for all the 9 layers here, and then have it here like a little bit later on. So this is the position that we want to have all the stuff coming in. And then we go back here, and we're gonna take the first layer, and this is the title up here. And we're just gonna move it out of the, oh yeah, don't forget, track mat all the 9 layers to the mask. Then we go back and move it out of the picture, boom. And then we go to the next one, and for all of this one, for all the rest of this one, we're just gonna move them down. There we go, boom, like this. And then we will ease all of them. And now what we're gonna do is basically close all of this down to have more visibility. And if you see, this is what it looks like right now. I have all of this boring stuff coming in, like it looks boring. Let's motion blur all of them, and we have like the actual thing coming in, and you see the Skillshare goes down, and we have the, it looks a little bit better with the Skillshare going down, and we have the Explore coming up, and this one is a little bit slow in my opinion. So I would do like this, and what I would do is I would, you know, use again the motion tools panel, and then just make it also again the staircase effect like this. And if you look at it, it's a little bit more slow again, but we can fix that by just not going. So yeah, and now if you look at it, boom, this is what it looks like. If the Skillshare going down, we can also just make it like, make the top come in a little bit faster, and the bottom one coming in later on when the Skillshare already disappeared, or a little bit later on this one as well. And then boom, like this. And then we just enable the Facecam. And we can also make the Facecam a little bit smaller as well if we want to. So if you see it, we have all this stuff here coming in. Just gonna make it a little bit faster. Yeah, for projects like this, I would actually just recommend getting the Motion Tools panel plugin. But as you see, all the plugins that I use has some kind of function. The Deep Glow has a function, as you see here on the Facecam. The Flow plugin has like a really good function. It helps me with the keyframes, like the basically the smoothness of the video, of the animations. And then my Motion Tools panel helps me with basically all the timeline here, with the animation timeline, to make it, you know, build it up as fast as possible, and also censor all the stuff here as fast as possible, so I can just snap and just create it, and then save so much time. And you don't need a million plugins, but I think Flow, Motion Tools panel, and Deep Glow are like such a clutch. What you could do is also just take the top screenshot and pre-compose it and make it basically screen recording 2 with Skillshare. Just also to have a little bit more, just a little bit more clean timeline and not have like so much stuff here. As you see, it's like so much stuff going on here. If I would have like another 4 layers of Facecam and another like 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of, you know, the background, this would already be like 30 layer, you know, animation. So just keep it clean, make it clean if you can. And with that being said, let's move on to the next animation. The next one is really good. I really love this animation. It's a little bit tricky with the effects, but I'm going to show you exactly how you can recreate this exact style. And what I would suggest is maybe just taking the same text as you have here as well. Like I will show you in a second. Change it to white because it's almost the same as you have it here. We just have like a different text. So what I would suggest to do right now is we have already created 2 text effect animations with the same font and with almost the same text effects, you know, animation as well. So just take one of them and I'll just take the second one because it's almost as similar as we will recreate right now. And it just makes it faster because it's the same font and it's also the same effect to a degree as well. So what we're going to do next is we're going to change the text to compelling. We have made the slide up by word, which we changed already. And what we're going to do is we're just going to change the position to 30. Like we're going to make it like really subtle. Like just 20, like this. And what we also see in the video here is he has, if we make it to full, he has a slight blur to it. If you see it, it's a little bit blurred. And we're going to add a blur to it. And I will show you how. We're going to make it animate, blur, boom. And we're going to just change this one here. Make a keyframe, and then here as well a keyframe. Go back to the first one, and the first keyframe we're gonna make it around 15. Looks pretty clean, I think. Yeah, I like it. Boom. It's just a subtle blur that we add to it. Okay, so we have the same graph as here with the flow, and then I'll also show you the actual graph. This is what it looks like, and that's it. So what we're gonna do next is, as you see here, they come from the left. Of course, the text comes in like from the right to the left, but it just shrinks together, like it presses together. And there's an easy way on how you can achieve that. We're also going to animate this one here, add animation. And what we're going to add is tracking. So the tracking here is really easy. Let me just make a keyframe here and make a keyframe at the end. And then what we're going to do here, if you see this, so this brings them like apart from each other. Like it actually looks really good. So next what we're gonna do is you also see sometimes all these things in a cinematic text effect. Like this is where I learned it from, like this exact effect, because I saw like, okay, so they are apart and they're coming together here. So how can I achieve the same effect as well? So by creating this tracking, but also make it just subtle. This is basically the animation. And what you could also do to fade it out, what we're gonna do is basically just have this, take this, copy it and paste it as inverted, get parted from each other. What you could do to fade it out is just basically copy this one, paste it here, copy this, place it here, this, place it here, fade out, that's it. And then what you could do is just take this text and then just basically bring it into your project here and then just place it top of it. Like if we have the screenshot here. Oh yeah, so I just fixed this one real quick because it was continuous. I don't want to have it continuous. I don't know why it was so weird, but yeah, save it and then just add it here and then just boom, out. Like this. And just move it down here. You can make it bigger or smaller. We can also, what we could do is, Ali has some drop shadow to it. So what we can do is add some drop shadow on Premiere Pro. So we could adjust the softness and make the opacity bigger if you want to, like this. So we have the screenshot here with the text. And you can also make it faster if you want to, especially the fade out. We could just make it faster and then just fade out. This looks so clean. This is basically the text effect. It's just 3 layers of basic, animation. requires actually no plugin at all. So what you're gonna do first is add the slide up word and then just adjust the position to coming in from the right and going into the middle, from right to the middle or right to the left if we want to say so. And after that we just add a little blur to it, just a really subtle blur. And then after the blur we add a track amount to it, like a tracking amount, just to bring those characters apart from each other. And then if we want to fade it out, we just copy it and then just mirror basically the same keyframes. That's basically the whole text effect on it. So let's move on to the next animation now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we only have 3 animations left that we want to cover. And this recording goes already really long. So one thing that I want to mention is if you would want me to break down a video in the future, I have opened up a Discord server where I have all the stuff, resources that I provide, like websites or whatever I use or discover, and then post it in here. What you ever discover, post it in here. I will also pin it. And then if you have any suggestions for video breakdowns, you could just come in here, video suggestion, drop the link down below. You can ping me even, that's my account. You can ping my account. I will take a look at it. You just tell me, hey, how can I actually recreate this animation? Or editors would benefit from learning this exact animation. So can you just break it down for me in a video or whatever? And I think about making either just a group only breakdown video where I recreate it in After Effects, or I can also make if it's a really good animation, I can make a video about it. And this is what mostly gonna happen is like I want to create a video about it. So drop your suggestions into here, and one thing, you can also post your own edits here and I can give a feedback to you and just talk about stuff and have the social media, all that stuff in here. And what I also added is a jobs forum, which I will fill out more with opportunities with working with people or whatever. If they come into the server to find editors, they will post it here. Or if I find jobs that I cannot take on or I don't want to take on, I will just post it in here as well. So it definitely, gives you value to join this Discord server, and we're gonna make this Discord server really big in the future. I'm not sure on how long it's gonna take, but I will make this Discord server definitely big and even more valuable than the project files that you receive in this video. It will be 1,000 times more valuable. And with that being said, let's go into the next animation, which is basically just the same background that we had before. Like, I just want to show you on how you can basically just showcase a book like this on a simplistic background. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take the background from the previous videos, like from the previous animations. Now we have the background, we have the face cam, the speedrunning animations. So yeah, now we just need the book. And I found this exact book, the exact mockup that he used. And first of all, we need this Designing Your Life book, and we can find it here, right here. With the Amazon, you just take it, open image next tab, and just save image as. You can just type in like book mockup free, and you will find a lot of mockups that you could just use for your animations. But if we want to recreate the same exact mockup, I just typed in book mockup free, and then I just found this one. And you go to the website, and it's free to download, of course, as well. So yeah, you can just go to this website and just press free download. And for this one, we just downloaded it from the Mega NZ website. It's trusted, no worries. It's not a virus or whatever. If you have any type of worries about that, it is actually safe and you won't have any problems. And once you have downloaded it, you have basically this exact folder. And what you're gonna do is open up the PSD file with Photoshop. I know this has already been like 3 programs in this video, like After Effects, Premiere Pro, and then now Photoshop. But this is gonna be actually pretty easy. And once you open it up, you will have it like this with this book mockup. And there's a layer here. It's called Your Design here. What you want to do is you just basically double click on it, and then I already pasted it in, and I also have, just adjusted and just added like some blue here. Otherwise it would have been cut off. So what I did is just add some blue in here, and then just the same image that I found on Google, I just added in here from the book, and then just, just Alt S, just save it, save, boom. Once you've saved it, it's already done. Like, that's it. It's already done. Now what I like to do is remove the background and the shadow. And you can also just remove the levels or the noise. I think without the noise, it's really good. We don't need it. I have the noise, shadow, and background like disabled. What we're gonna do next is File, and then Save As. And then you're gonna just go to your folder, graphics folder, wherever you have all the stuff that you save, keep in. Always organize your stuff, because if you need it, if you need to find it, if you have to look for it, and just, you know, look up for like in 50 different folders, then it's going to take away so much time. So always just save one project to actually just one project folder. And this is important, okay? So what we're going to do here is like mockup book 01, and then just save it as a Photoshop file. And I will explain to you why in a second. But what we're going to do now is go back to After Effects, and we're going to find that file that we just saved. It's this one. Boom, just drag and drop it in here. Yes, editable layer size, composition kind, and then boom. This is the book. And it was less than like 2 minutes to make it. Like, even if you would install like Photoshop, and this would take you like 10 minutes to install or whatever, just to make this animation, this wouldn't take too long to do, like actually. So what we're gonna do is just adjust it and press P, Alt on the position clock here, and then just add a wiggle to it. We're just gonna make it open 120. That's it. And that's it. We can also add some drop shadow to it just to separate it more from the background. Just really, really subtle. This is like such an easy peasy way to showcase something. It's like, it looks so good, first of all. It looks so simplistic because the book is like a really good color. And yeah, it's the mock-up as well. It looks so clean. And that's all, that's all I can say to it. And just the wiggle effect on it as well. And let's move on to the next animation. The next animation is gonna be this description box that you see here. We have a box coming up and a text appearing here. This is pretty easy to do. We're just gonna do a fill rectangle like this. And then we will have the roundness going up like this. And then we're just gonna center all of this, align, center all the stuff, all the good stuff. So we're gonna do a new text, because in this case, we're gonna use a different kind of effect on the text, which I will show you in a second. And in this case, we can have like, I can just do my portfolio. I can just create my own text here as well. And I will just make it a little bit smaller. And this is what it looks like right now. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna parent link this to the shape layer, which is just the white box here. And we're gonna take the white box and position this a little bit more down. So yeah, this is basically the text. I adjust the position here, just do a keyframe here, and then we go all the way down. So we go up, and there we have it. We just make it a little bit faster, like less than a second. We don't need it to have like 2 seconds come in. Oh, this is way too slow. And let's also add some motion blur to it as well. Don't forget to turn on motion blur. I know I've forgotten to turn on motion blur on a couple of these projects or these compositions, but don't forget it. It looks always so good, like actually. So now that we have the slide in, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add a character, fade up characters. That's the one I need. A fade up characters for both of these. And this will make sense in a second, but oh yeah, it's already good. Oh yeah, this already looks good, but we're just gonna make it faster though. And make it, of course, aligned as well. And let's make it easy ease. Oh yeah, it already looks really good, but what we're gonna do is go to advanced and add a ramp up. Add a ramp up and bring up the easy high as much as possible. And let's do it for this one as well. Let's open up the range selector, the advanced, and make a ramp up and bring up the easy high as much as possible. And if you close up or close down all of this stuff, bring this one a little bit back again. This is what it looks like. Boom. Can also just play around with this so it looks lined up a little bit. So they actually fade in lined up like this. And this is basically the link in the description box and then your URL. So yeah, last animation. So I know this looks super easy to do, and for all the people who don't know how to do it, I'm gonna show you right now so you can steal it and you can just combine it with some different styles or different effects and make it your own. With that being said, let's just go ahead, select the rectangle, create this rectangle, boom, center it, bring the roundness up as always. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna duplicate this and make the fill color black. And I'm gonna make this one smaller, scale down, make it smaller, or scale down by 99%, or let's say 97%, 98%. There we go. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna make this a little bit more small, and we're gonna bring this up. So we have really a subtle line on the top here, and we have like space here for the name of this dude. And what I did is just search up the dude on Google, and we're gonna bring in the image and track matte it to the mask here, and then main white box, and then boom, track matte it to the mask, and then just adjust the size of this beautiful picture like this. And what we're gonna also do is parent both of these things to the main white box. So if we're gonna do some effects on the white box later on, we won't have any issues with just the white box moving and these pictures are still steady. And next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna write this dude's name in here. It's Albert Bandura, like this, center this, and then make it like this. Scale a little bit down, maybe. And then adjust basically the height as well. So it's centered. Always have it centered. Always have it centered. Okay. And now we're going to add a simple blue color to it. And we're going to also link this to the main white box. And we're going to do P for position. Alt position. Make a wiggle. 1 to, let's say, 8. 1 to 8. Or 1 to 6. Or 7. 7 is good. There we go. And then have basically the positioning here, position that we want to have it in, and we will have the position keyframe here, and then bring this one out here and just have it on the beginning, and then just make it easy ease. So yeah, this is an animation. I have all the websites that I used, all the project file assets, all the stuff I will have in the description. I will just a little bit clean up this project file before I upload it to the drive. And as I said, link in the description. You will find a project file there. Join the Discord and post some video suggestions that you would like me to break down or teach other people as well. And also let me know if you want me to have different topics regards video editing covered as well. I hope you learned something new. With that being said, adios.